Welcome back, everyone. Happy Good Friday. So do you have any plans for Easter weekend?
I do not have any plans for Easter weekend. I'll be working all Sunday, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where do you work?
I work at Cocobolos. So if you want to come in for bottomless mimosas at Cocobolos on Sunday, feel free. Feel free.
That's a good way to kick off the Easter weekend.
Yes. Speaking of, the Kendrick Lamar album came out.
Yes, it came out today actually on Apple Music, and oh my goodness, it is probably the best thing that has happened all semester.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song right now is Loyalty featuring Rihanna. It's got kind of like an upbeat thing to it, and it's really cute song. It's not something I really expected from Kendrick or Rihanna. So yeah, you should definitely check that out. Also, on this Good Friday, Student Senate election results come in today.
Right.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to vote?
I did not vote. Where were the voting polls?
They were everywhere. I heard of a lot of people feeling like they were being attacked because they were like following you around campus. It was very funny.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I got to vote, so that was cool. So, yeah.
Well, those results should be coming in about 5 to 6 tonight on social media.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. In other news, do you like McDonald's?
I do. I love McDonald's.
Yes,
Why?
I am a diehard McDonald's fan, and so was this 8-year-old boy from Ohio. He used some YouTube videos to take him and his little 4-year-old sister to McDonald's in their parents' car. So
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that. I heard they got some chicken nuggets and some cheeseburgers while their parents were asleep. So what are you going to do?
Yeah,
McDonald's.
Exactly. So they were able to cross 4 intersections, a couple of railroad tracks, and a few turns without hitting anyone, being stopped. And they even went through the drive-thru, and the employees thought that it was like a prank, but no, they were very serious, very determined.
I would definitely think it's a joke if 2 kids just pulled up into the drive-thru. That would not be normal at all.
Not at all. Yeah, so.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think that's all today. We'll stay tuned to hear more from fashion.
3, 2, 1, and camera 2.
All right, guys, welcome back.
Welcome to Media Crossroads. Located on the 2nd floor of Anschutz Library sits an immersive learning experience like no other. So what is Media Crossroads? A chance to try something new. The opportunity to step in and learn. Going behind the scenes, or maybe giving it a shot in front of the camera.
Good evening, guys, and welcome into Playmaker Central. I'm Lydia Taylor.
Under the direction of instructor Cal Butcher, Media Crossroads provides students with the chance to learn by doing.
You're going to start here just so she sees that you're on.
So what is Media Crossroads? Well, stop by. Come see for yourself.
The City of Lawrence has developed a tentative settlement for the Oriad Hotel that would require the hotel to reimburse the city $650,000, and the hotel's developer, Thomas Fritzl, would have to resign. Back in November, the city filed a civil lawsuit alleged that Fritzl engaged in a fraudulent wrongdoings that ultimately would generate undue tax rebates from the city. In the midst of the hotel's 20-year incentive program, they will now lose authority to approve the next hotel manager's position for the Oriad. Lawrence City Manager Tom Marcus said, "This sends a pretty loud message to the development community that we're not going to tolerate diversion from the agreement that we entered into." Though the agreement isn't canceled entirely, the city has decided to make modifications that they thought would provide enough oversight to continue to monitor the relationships and minimize the risk of reoccurrence. The city's commission will ultimately make the decision whether or not to approve the proposed settlement by the city. They will meet on Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. at City Hall, 6 East 6th Street. The School of Social Welfare has been searching for a new dean after Paul Smokowski announced his resignation in March 2016, followed by the interim Dean Steve Kapp. All candidates are being asked to discuss the role of schools in social work and how to prepare for it. Yesterday in the Kansas Union, Michelle Moore Carney, a candidate to fill the position, spoke to an audience of 45 people, both staff and students, about the importance of transparency. Carney said, community involvement and input were key to creating programs that make students want to enroll and that are able to help the community and world outside of academia. More candidates are expected to speak in the upcoming weeks in the Kansas Union. Announcements are underway for Kansas's 2nd District congressional seat in 2018. The 2nd District includes the cities of Lawrence, Topeka, Pittsburgh, Leavenworth, and Atchison. A story written by the Lawrence Journal World suggests that a few have filled for the race too are Republicans, including State Senator Steve Fitzgerald of Leavenworth and Veron James Fields of Basehor, along with Democrat Kelly Dawn Stradley of St. Paul. Additionally, former Lawrence Representative Paul Davis announced on Thursday that he is exploring the idea of a bid. Back in 2014, Davis lost a narrow race to current Governor Sam Brownback. The former representative said that public service is where he belongs and that he wants to work on behalf of the people of Kansas to fight for shared values. There is no current certainty that the Democratic National Committee or the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee would support him. That will wrap up News Update, but make sure to stay tuned with us after the break as we have the Struggle Bus.
Hi guys, you're back with the Struggle Bus today, and we are in between Anschutz and the Underground. Time management is a skill I think we all need to kind of work on, and for me personally, I'm always on the go, super busy. Sometimes I rarely get time to eat during the weekdays. Today we're going to be interviewing some students on campus about how they manage time. Anyways, let's get started. If you could give any advice for time management, what would it be?
Set like 8 alarms.
Is that what helps you, like setting a million alarms to help you wake up?
Yes. 100%.
I have a little calendar that I keep in my backpack where I write down everything that I need to get done for the day. And then I also set myself reminders in my phone so I can kind of keep myself on schedule. Like if I have a reminder that says I need to be at the library at 4 o'clock and that goes off and I'm not at the library, then I know I'm doing something wrong.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you manage your time?
Well, I always like to stop and do interviews before class, so that's rule number 1. But then I always do like the work for an hour, take 20 minutes off if I have a lot to do. I also don't put things off because it kind of like ruins your funk that's always hanging above you. So I would say just, as much as it might not be as fun to get it done, just do 30 minutes if you can, and then take 10 minutes off and just be happy with the progress you made.
And what about you?
One thing Adam and I like to say we do all the time, really helps up clear part of our schedule, is not to have a lot of friends because you don't have to spend a lot of time with them. No, I'm kidding. We're not that sad.
Your friends should understand. Your friends and family will all understand that you live a busy life and school's important and that you're working towards a better future. So I would say, you can cut 20 minutes out from hanging out for 3 hours a day. Like, it's not a big deal.
Can you give us a little advice about how you manage your time?
I have a planner, and I pick 3 things to do every day that I have to do no matter what. And if nothing else gets done, it's fine. As long as those things get done, it's okay.
Has there ever been a time that you did not manage your time well?
I try really hard, but phones exist and Pinterest exists and cakes exist to make, so all-nighters are not good for the days that you don't manage your time. Just take the hit, take the bad grade, get the sleep.
I just tend to write everything out that I need to get done in the week, day by day, kind of break it down and check things off as I go, really.
Does it ever stress you out, like, too much? Do you ever get overwhelmed by it?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes, but I guess you just kind of figure it out.
Hi guys, I'm here with
Dan McCarthy.
And what do you do?
I'm an academic advisor at the J School.
Can you tell us a little bit about your time management skills or any advice you could have to give to students?
Ultimately, the most important part when it comes to time management is compartmentalizing specific projects into manageable steps. I think the hard part about it is that people start to narrate certain, what you might call stereotypes in terms of what time management looks like. And that means I've got a bunch of tabs, I've got a bunch of highlighters out, I'm very organized. But ultimately, that's where I go back to, it's a very subjective experience.
I really need to learn how to manage my time better. Whether you take meticulous notes, you highlight like crazy, or you set a million alarms to remind yourself. Remember, time management is important. Otherwise, you could end up on the struggle bus like me.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Hello, welcome back to Off the Boulevard. I'm your host, Nick Brady, for our fashion segment. In high fashion news, Gucci recently presented their new campaign titled New Scene that exclusively featured only black models. The campaign highlights black excellence and simply young people having a good time looking good while doing it. The inspiration stems from the underground Northern Soul movement in 1960s London, and rightfully so, the models are pictured partying in a dance hall decked out in Gucci's pre-fall 17. Digging deeper into the photo shoot and the creative direction involved, I think we should applaud Gucci and their creative director Alessandro Michele for pushing forward diversity, specifically highlighting the unconventional freedom of self-expression of youth through performance, art, and dance. Yes, we can praise this advertising, but we also need to realize it's not a quick fix to a systematic issue. That issue being cultural appropriation, and in terms of inclusivity, making sure your brand, business, corporation, whatever it may be, is diverse and rich with culture, because that's what America is about. Moving on to other high fashion news, you may or may not have heard the name Jeff Koons. Koons is a prolific artist and recently collaborated with Louis Vuitton on several handbags, featuring old classical art like the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The intention is to provoke appreciation for old works by bringing them to a contemporary audience, like us. Honestly, I can't help but hate these handbags. I agree, the fashion art hybrids make you think about the distinction between the two, but this isn't, I guess, art by an artist collaborating with a fashion designer. This is simply an already successful artist using work that has already been made hundreds of years ago with an already successful fashion brand to make bags. I'm not sure, I mean, what else could they have done? I think the inspiration is lacking. There's an opportunity here to do something really authentic and be original between these two, and that's not how it really played out. They're cool, but it could be a lot better in my opinion. That's my critique, and it'd be interesting to hear what you think. Last but not least, if you remember correctly, last week I mentioned Kendrick Lamar's new music video and where you could get that hoodie. Well, if you didn't get the hoodie, you should at least get his new album, titled in all caps, Damn. And damn is right. I took one quick listen all the way through this morning, and all I have to say is that it's fire. No explanation needed. All right, thank you for joining me today. I'm Nick Brady, and this is Off the Boulevard. Up next, we have sports.
Welcome back to Off the Boulevard and to our sports segment on a cloudy day here in Lawrence, Kansas. This is Nick Merrick. I'm Jacob Sperry. So our first story today is exciting for KU basketball fans and for us too, especially. Earlier in the week it was announced that Devontae Graham, our junior small guard, is coming back to KU for his senior year to finish some unfinished business. And the reaction that all of us had is very similar to Devontae's reaction at the Oklahoma game There it is right there. That was me all earlier this week when I heard Devontae was coming back. What's your reaction?
I thought he was coming back for sure already. He definitely was a 4-year player, it seemed like to me. He had some NBA prospects coming through, but I just really couldn't see him leaving. His legacy is not set yet, and I'm glad he's back, and now we're just gotta wait till next season.
Well, in his last game in the Sprint Center, he was over 7 from the field, so I don't think that he wanted to go out that way, and I think his draft stock fell quite a bit. But in other KU basketball news, Svi Mikhailuk, in a rather shocking turn of events there, he's declared for the draft, but he hasn't hired an agent, which means, of course, that he can come back to KU, but he has to make that decision by May 24th. What do you think Svi's feedback's going to be at the Combine this year?
I think he's still young. I think he's just, it's a smart decision to test the waters without an agent. Might as well go out there and see what he can do, see if he can make some money. That's the main goal these kids all want to do, is to go to the NBA. So I think it's smart, but I think he'll end up coming back. He's got a lot of friends on the team. I think he's just kind of seeing where he is when he does come back, and so he has like a place where he knows if he needs to move up or kind of a goal for the season.
And Svi is a great shooter. A lot of people say that he could go back to Europe and play for quite a bit of money as well. So if the NBA doesn't work out, he could end up overseas again as well, which is obviously where he came from, coming to KU from Ukraine. Also, Diedrich and KJ Lawson, 2 Memphis standouts last season. Obviously, weren't getting along with Coach Tubby Smith down there in Tennessee. What do you think about their decision now to transfer to KU? Of course, they have to sit out next season, but we'll have them for the 28-20.
I think it's huge because now we have some big guys, and they also have a cousin who's a top 10 recruit. And KJ's averaged 19 points, 19 points, 9 rebounds, and his little brother averaged 12 points as a redshirt freshman. So I think they're going to be huge. And I wish we could have them this year, but when all of our core players leave this year, we got two great players coming in.
Yeah, to fill in, absolutely. And like you said, that pipeline to recruit their little brothers and all that is just fantastic for the program. So awesome transfer there. Jayhawk baseball last night, in other news, that they did not pan out to what we thought they were in that series against Oklahoma State. They went down 11-6. Pitching was abysmal, if you ask me, but they played tonight at 7 p.m. down in Stillwater. Hopefully they can turn the series around.
I hope so. You never know. It's always up and down, but maybe we can pull one off here.
Yeah, they go in streaks. They win 3, lose 3. It's just the way they seem to be all year. So hopefully they pull out the series, this weekend. A lot of hockey jerseys, including this beautiful San Jose Sharks jersey, around campus this week as the NHL playoffs are geared up and kicked off already. Each team has now already played a game, with a lot of teams playing their second game tonight. Here's the beautiful bracket for this year's NHL playoffs. Of course, a lot of Blackhawks fans on campus. They went down last night, 1-0 to the Predators. A lot of St. Louis Blues fans, obviously. We are not far from Missouri, and they beat the Minnesota Wild in overtime. And also, I should address the Wild fans. Plenty of them on campus as well. So a lot of people around here excited about the NHL playoffs, as they are every year. Get typically a good crowd of people that are really into that. So everybody tune into the NHL playoffs. It's a great time of year for sports. So in other news, professional news that is, the Royals had a very slow start to the season still. They are now 3-6, but they did salvage a game from the Oakland A's yesterday to at least get something out of that series. They played tonight at 7:15 versus the Angels.
Last show, I was very down on them. I said we were going to trade our players for the deadline. I'm going to flop on that. I'm going to say I like what I see, actually. Our offense is picking up. We still have Soler coming back from the DL. Our relief pitching is a little iffy, but I really feel like if they can pick it up and our offense can stay healthy,
so
we have a chance.
Let me ask you this. One game against the Oakland Athletics has now changed your entire outlook on the Royals season?
It was not the one game at Oakland. It was the series in Houston that really we could have taken the sweep.
Mm-hmm.
We lost in extra innings in the last game. At Houston, tough place to play. I think that was a turning point for me. Just seeing our bullpen and seeing our offense just have frenzy hitting like we usually do. I think that was a turning point. But a lot of season left. We're only 3-6. It could be a lot worse. We could be 0-9 at this point. So I'll take it. But I have some optimism as of now.
Slow starts can always lead to hot finishes,
Yeah.
as we know in baseball. Tonight, the Royals play at 7:15 against the Angels at the K, so I'm sure some of you will be out there tonight. And last but not least, we'll be live. Me and Nick will be live from the Kansas Relays next week. We hope. We may go out there on Thursday, but we will be there at the Kansas Relays. Big event in Lawrence. We're very excited to do it. It'll be our first one. It is the 90th year of the Kansas Relays, right there, the 19th through the 22nd, and that'll be taking place at Rock Chalk Park and all that stuff up 6th Street. So it'll be an awesome time, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's our first one, so everyone should get out there if they can. Hopefully the weather holds up, but that's all we have for you today. Like I said, tune into the Royals game, the NHL playoffs, a lot of sporting stuff going on in the world. So have a great rest of your day, and Rock Chalk Jayhawk.